We're Better Together comes as World Suicide Prevention Day is here, and we're focusing on help that's available in our community right now. To help us tackle that topic of losing a loved one to suicide, we're joined by P.T. Thomas and Caitlin Diggs of the Living Foundation. Thank you all so much for hanging out with me on the couch. I always tell people we get smarter in a little bit of time, and you two are the perfect people to get smarter with in a little bit of time.
We'll see.
Hey, you know, I know that this hits very close to home for both of you. Tell me a little bit about your stories. I'll start with you.
Yeah, well, thank you for having us. We're just the little engine that could, so any additional awareness that we can get to raise awareness of what we're doing just helps us build momentum. And ultimately help more people.
Yes.
So so I've been with the Living Foundation for coming up on 6 years now. I'm part of the unfortunate club that a lot of us are part of after the loss to my dad to suicide. I was 12 years old, 1996. And so I started, I just got a neighbor actually down the road, lost a husband to suicide. And I found out about that. I didn't even know them. And up until that point, I was in denial. I didn't talk about it. And I just felt this fire inside of me to approach them and help them. And I did, just via peer-to-peer support, and sat down with their family and talked to them about their loss and provided, I think, a little bit of hope and inspiration to them that there is light at the end of the tunnel. And I'm living proof that you can live through that. And that's what really gave me the inspiration and motivation to continue to share my story. And as soon as I did that via social media, a mutual friend of ours actually commented and said, you should check out the Living Foundation. So I did, and I was just ultimately drawn to the positivity of the movement and the mission and what it stood for. And for the first time for me, I started focusing on how my dad lived when he was here versus how he died.
Wow.
And that was very therapeutic for me. Very healing for me, and I know that that's what we provide a lot of people. And I actually went to a speaking engagement that he was having in Chaska, and I heard him speak, and right away I just felt this fire in me that I've never felt before, that I had to be involved. And so he and I started having coffee and meeting, and here we are.
Oh man, to be a fly on the wall, creating community in the midst of a lot of that chaos. Quickly, tell me a little bit about your story.
I mean, much like Caitlin lost my dad to suicide in 2013, I think, you know, she was 12 years old, a different time in her life from a standpoint of dealing with it. I was 30 years old, and I think the only way that I found hope and healing in my universe was to start conversations about it, which didn't happen right away, by the way. It took me like 18 months to really start having like open conversations. But once I did, I started to see that healing power and started to realize that, you know, maybe through this conversation and people like saying, hey, it's okay to talk about it, like there was this sense of community and togetherness. And I think through that, I realized that like a movement was born, and that almost it was now a big part of my life to kind of be, you know, a beacon of hope for as many people as possible, and to encourage others to tell their story. I mean, we say all the time, like living, you know, I may have like started it, but it's everybody's story to tell. Like you get to, you know, kind of define that however you've been affected. And again, through some conversation, I think some love and some healing and some hope, I think we're giving that to a lot of families, hopefully.
And that's exactly what you are doing. Before I let you go, you have a really big event happening. Tell me about it.
Yeah, so Living Music Festival this weekend. It's at ERX Motor Park in Elk River. It's our 6th annual event. It's basically just a gathering of people that, you know, have either been affected by, unfortunately, suicide or mental illness in some capacity, but it's a lot of positive things. Obviously, it's music, it is barbecue, there's a rib competition, camping, which is a lot of fun, a ton of kids' activities with a petting zoo and stuff like that for the kids. We have an inspirational dove release, which is, you know, really a good opportunity for families to kind of feel a little bit of that release that they might be going through. And to be honest, it's relatively affordable for people. Friday is free, most of the day on Saturday is free. And Dina Carter, our headliner, so Strawberry Wine, if people remember.
Very
her big track
nostalgic.
from the
Strawberry
90s.
Wine.
And you all always know what I say. If it's for free, it's for me, and it's for you too. We
right,
thank you
Alexis. Yeah,
all
for
for
sure.
letting us in your world. And it sounds like it's something for a little bit of everyone. We'll have more details for you at KARE11.com/noon. You know, when we come